It's $1 Million Money Making Monday with yours truly, me, Jesse Torrero, and the Home Selling Group, where your home sold guaranteed, where I'll buy it at 1-844-402-4222, extension 1045. The show is brought to you by the Home Selling Group, of course. Every $1 Million Money Making Monday, we usually start around 6 or 6:30, just getting a little late jump start. Part of making money is understanding when times change and shifts happen. And so I've got a really interesting article that we're going to be talking about here in a few seconds. But first, I do want to say hi to all my friends here at Instagram. They have us on. Thanks a lot, our Instagram friends. I appreciate that. And also want to say hi to some friends here on Facebook as I adjust the Instagram cam around. Thanks a lot, Facebook, for checking in with us too as well. We're broadcasting live from our foundation at YouTube Live. And of course, you can catch that on any YouTube channel near you. Just jog in there, Jesse Torrero, and that'll bring you right to the subscription site. And please subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. We've got some great shows here on the YouTube site, and a lot of $1 Million Money Making Mondays and plans and strategies on how to make $1 million in real estate very quickly. So you might want to check that out. But we're also talking about how to observe and how to be able to understand when markets change. And a part of making money in this business is when markets change, okay? You have to be very careful as to the amount of money and when you're spending your money when markets are changing around you. So I wanted to bring up this article here that I thought was pretty darn good here. And let's see here. Let's bring it up on my share screen here. And that should be able to jog me in there too. There you go. So this is a market on Yahoo Finance, one of the places I follow, though Yahoo is a very liberal-minded understanding on the news side, but on their finance side, they tend to be a little conservative. And you should always be more conservative than liberal, but be only conservative enough not to stop you from taking risks, but to keep you questioning what you're doing. So this is what we're going to talk about on $1 Million Money Making Monday today, how to observe, how to feel, how to know when the market's changing, because then your strategy changes just a little bit. So according to Fortune magazine, the crazy is leaving the housing market. I thought this was a pretty good example and a pretty good explanation. It's kind of what's happening across the country. And then I'll give you my input as to kind of what's happening right here in Southern California. The crazy is leaving the housing market, according to Lance Lambert, a writer at Fortune 500 magazine. After booming for more than a year, with bidding wars sweeping through communities from coast to coast, the housing market is finally cooling off a bit. But don't mistake, this is for the start of a crash. This is not 2008. Okay, this is not 2008. We're not going to see, that was a heck of a crash in 2008. We're talking like kamikaze pilots. We're talking dive bombers in World War II. I mean, it was pretty amazing, but it's cooling off a little bit. And across the nation, you're starting to see that in how long it takes houses to sell on the open market. That's the key indicator there. Are they taking 2 days more, a week more, a month more, 13 days more? That gives you an indication that buyers are starting to be a little more conservative, okay? Instead, the industry sees the recent softening as more of a return to normal. And I can agree with that, because this crazy market we've experienced here in Southern California for, oh gosh, about 3 years, and really hitting full speed about 2 years ago, it has to stop. We can't continue having prices go up 62% a year over COVID year, a pandemic year, okay? It has to stop. So instead, the industry sees this recent softening as more of a normal return. And normality is important in the real estate market, where you have enough buyers and enough sellers to even it out, okay? So this is a good thing. We're starting to see that a little bit here in Southern California. I'm sensing it more than I'm seeing it. I've been doing this 40 years, so I'm starting to get, my little antennas are coming up, and I'm starting to get this sense that the real estate market is changing ever so slightly. Okay, it's just a way, because I talk to a lot of people. In fact, like after the show here, I'm going to be talking for about 2.5 hours to people about the real estate, and you get a sense of buyers and you get a sense of sellers out there when you go through waves of people. While home prices over the past 12 months are up a staggering 17%, that's nationwide. We're talking 50 to 62% here in California. A real estate research firm called CoreLogic just said they forecast a 3.2% appreciation coming in the next 12 months. Well, I think that's a little bit low. The average appreciation here in Southern California, remember, they're going nationwide. This is a national read magazine, so it can't get specific, but I can. The average price has gone up about 7 to 7.5%, 8% a year over the last 150 years here in California real estate. So that's normal for us in that respect. What's driving this countdown and this cool down? Some of it is a result of would-be homebuyers simply balking at sky-rise high prices, but that's not all. Seasonality is kicking in, appears to be coming back to the market. Historically, housing begins to slow down in the late summer as the start of school nears, and then returns in full force again in the spring. Not too much here in Southern California because we don't have to worry about the weather situation. Our weather is always pretty consistent. So we don't see that kind of drop off where you would see that in Chicago or New York or in areas where it's, the weather changes dramatically from one to the other. We don't see that here. And we have a pretty stable, though many companies have left California because of the practices of politicians. We still have a stable business market, industrial market here, commercial market here in Southern California. Also, the economy reopened and people are getting back to traveling and visiting with friends and family. This housing fixation was diminished slightly. In other words, people are starting to feel they don't have to be trapped in their backyards and they can go out now. According to Ali Wolf, chief economist at Zonda, another forecast group, a housing market research firm, tells Fortune that is why housing normally has a seasonal pattern. The uniqueness about the housing market in 2020 was that seasonality was thrown right out the door, but he feels it's starting to come back to as well. And I say it is, but our percentage of profits are going to be greater. Housing inventory plunged during the pandemic, but it's finally starting to tick up a little bit. What we're seeing basically is we're seeing more houses come on the market and last a little bit longer. Also, that coupled with the fact that the houses that are on the market are starting to last a little longer, we're starting to see some declines or some reductions in sales price as we come out of the pandemic here in Southern California. While prices over the past year ran up like they did before 2008. I mean, they ran up just last year like they did for several years collectively before 2008. The dynamics at play in 2021 are nothing like that bubble because we don't have the subprime blow up. There's not a lot of those negative loans, negative amortization loans, those teaser rate loans that would jump up in 30, 60, 90 days to a higher interest rate. We don't have a lot of those 80-100, 80-20s, we call them, or 100% financing. We don't have a lot of those. So we're currently, for a housing bust to occur, there would likely need to be a supply gut. We don't have that. We're probably not going to have that for 3 or 4 years. We're currently at the opposite end of the spectrum with housing inventory still near a 40% low, falling by more than 50% during the pandemic. So we got a long way to go. Not to mention our nation is underbuilt by about 3.8 million single family homes. You got to come up with about 4 million more homes. Now we're starting to see a lot of building like out in Bakersfield. We're starting to see a lot of building in the Antelope Valley. We're starting to see a lot of building out in Riverside County because there's not enough houses. Okay, there's just simply still not enough houses according to Freddie Mac. Now, leading up to the 2008 bubble, annual home building was around 30% higher than it is right now. So you see, we're at a low. We got to kick that back up in order for that glut to take place. Additionally, demographics suggest that our low inventory will continue to be outmarched by home buyer demand. Is because the demand has to catch up with the inventory. The inventory has to catch up with the demand. As Fortune has previously reported, we're in the middle of a 5-year period during which the largest tranche of millennials, those born between 1989 and 1993, are hitting their 30s, the age when first-time home buying really kicks into gear. I can attest to that. Most of my buyers are millennials now. Still, there are some wild cards. The COVID-19 recession saw mortgage rates plunge to historic lows, but we're kind of seem to be getting out of that right now. And this has created a huge mortgage savings for buyers and allowed them to stretch their budgets north because of the deferments, and you didn't have to pay for those mortgage payments if you said you were affected by COVID-19. If inflation fears startle the Federal Reserve into raising rates sooner than expected, now that's going to put a little negative impact on the marketplace. And that's really the key one. During the crisis, remote workers were also able to uproot themselves in pursuit of affordable real estate. If the end of the pandemic sees employers tighten their work from home policies, and we're starting to see that. We're starting to see some complaints now in that when you start following the financial and employment and that kind of stuff, that could also pull the steam out of the market. So it kind of really depends what those two areas are doing. We're starting to see some changes. Additionally, on September 30th, the Mortgage Forbearance Program, which allows some borrowers to pursue their payments or pass their payments off for a little while. There are 1.75 million borrowers representing about 3.5% of the U.S. mortgages enrolled in the forbearance program. If those homeowners opt to sell rather than restart payments, that could cause inventory to rise. I predict that that's what's going to happen. You're going to find that they're not going to be able to make these payments back because they're so in the rears now, what would be in the rears 2 years. There's not a feasible working plan that's going to happen other than just adding it onto the balance of the loan. So we're going to start to see homeowners dump properties on the marketplace and sell them, get that big equity bump that has taken place in the last 2 or 3 years. All right, so this is something that I just wanted to touch base on, which I thought was good, which I thought was very interesting, because you have to understand $1 Million Money Making Monday. It's not about just being able to put the deals together and put the strategies and put the training and put the plan in motion. You've got to really understand when things are starting to change a little bit, because that makes adjustments to your profit base. So you have to have a nuance, a feeling for that. And I just wanted to kind of bring you up to date on that and give you some of my ideas. This is what I think is going to happen. I think by the end of 2023, we're going to see some flattening. Interest rates will be higher. Employers will be hiring back. We're going to see the people working at home lessen, more traveling, more getting out. We're going to see continued home building that's going to go up. And with all the deferments that will be gone away completely in the history books at that point, people are going to start selling more. That's going to bring supply up. That's going to bring demand more level with supply. The interest rates will jump up. People will jump in the marketplace that are fence sitters. And it's going to be a wonderful time to buy between now and through 2023. Probably somewhere in 2024, we're going to see a decline where there's going to be that glut of houses and start to happen, and the prices really start to drop. We're going to see continued leveling off with some prices dropping in different marketplaces. Here in California, we're starting to feel a little bit, very, very, very little bit of that for motivated sellers. But that's kind of what I think is going to happen. So there's a lot of good areas to be able to invest in that scenario, in those holes. Okay, great. Hey, $1 Million Money Making Monday. 2 things. I got a brand new postcard. Look at that. That's going out to like 5,000 people. And then on this side here, that's going out to 5,000 people. And yes, I'm talking what I'm talking about. Your rental home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it. Because I believe your rental home absentee owners are going to jump into the marketplace because they're not going to want to deal with having to make up those deferment payments and dealing with those tenants that they have rented their house out and all that stuff. So they're going to jump in the marketplace. 4 things I wanted to show you about this postcard here, which is really important. 4 big reasons to call your home selling group to sell your home. Really, reason number 1 is right here. It says right there. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. It might be too far. Here, hey, Instagram guys. There it is. There's my Instagram, my new postcard there. Is that kind of cool? So the first one we're talking about, 4 big reasons, is this one right here. So it's this one right here. And this is basically what it is. 4 big reasons to call your home selling group to sell your home. Your home selling group versus average agents. Okay, we sell homes for more money. The average agent here in the Antelope Valley, Palmdale, Lancaster, and pretty much around Southern California is selling about 105% of value of the house that they're marketing. Ours is 115%. In fact, starting to push up over that now to 117%. In other words, 15% more money using us than somebody else. There's reasons for that too. Lots of reasons for that. Now we sell homes faster. The average time it takes most agents right now to sell a home, as I talked about, fattening up a little bit on that timeline, is about 17 days. We turn things in 3 to 5 days. And there's a reason for that we can turn 30% faster on the home sale. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. The next one of the 4 reasons is your home is more likely to sell. Okay. And what I mean by that is above the full price. Okay. So we have a price here that you have listed at. And then if you use us, it's more likely to sell above the full price than at full price and higher than the competing agents. In fact, about 17 to 22% higher than the competing agents. So that's pretty amazing. Also, our database and buyers, the buyers in waiting program, is over 3,100. So essentially, we have buyers ready, willing, and able to buy right now that have been approved at the highest level of the bank approval process. That's at the underwriter level. Now, the reason why these 4 big reasons work is because we have a promise and a guarantee. And here it is. And it's here for renters right now. Your home sold, your home rental sold, guaranteed, or I'll buy it. Okay. But we also have that for homeowners, your home sold guarantee, or I'll buy it. Now you hear me talk about that all the time. So what you got to do is you got to call 1-844-402-4222, extension 1045. This is why we have more buyers, because we market to buyers and buyers, buyers and buyers. I'm really too worried about your listings, okay? You match the buyers to the properties. So if you have a property that you're selling for sale by owner, or you're absentee owner, or you're just selling the property before you list with anybody else, you got to come to us, because we might just have a buyer for you already, okay? And we also, because we have the buyer already ready to go financially, we can switch it on. We can ask for more money. We can sell faster in a quicker time, and we can sell above full price more often than not, and with no hassles. And so those are the reasons why that's connected together. So I'd love to send this card out to you, and so give us a call. That way, then you can start working on that. Got my new business cards too. Check out that. Isn't that kind of cool, right? Can't really see it much. Yeah. Got my new business cards. So we're going to be flooding the market with that. It talks about on the back side, on the front side, it talks about your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it. And on the back side, it talks about the buyers we have in our buyers in waiting program. So we cover 2 people here, ones that are buying and ones that are selling. All right. Hey, $1 Million Money Making Monday happening here on the Jesse T Show. That's right, with me, Jesse Torrero, your home sold guaranteed, or I'll buy it, from the Home Selling Group. All right, got to get out of here now. You can like and share and ask questions and hit the notification button for YouTube. And please subscribe. It's free. A lot of great programs here, a lot of learning, a lot of great strategies for you to make money. And I just give it away for free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to sit at a big webinar. I just covered something. It took me about 25 or 30 minutes, bringing you up to speed on the marketplace. That's what all about, you know. Hey, look it. If it don't start right, it don't end right. So, hey, together everybody achieves more. That's what a team's all about. You and us. Boom, against the world. You have a good one. We'll talk to you later. See ya. Next Monday on $1 Million Money Making Monday at 6 o'clock.